Yes, welcome back to sunny Scrimerstown, and it's Edinburgh Accies against GALA, the two teams that have made it through their respective pools and the semi-finals, and are just going through their final warm-up preparations ahead of kick-off in a couple of minutes' time. Of course, GALA victorious here 12 months ago, winners of their own sevens as well earlier in the season, a fortnight or so ago, and looking to add more silverware this afternoon. Edinburgh Accies, of course, their own agenda, looking to lift the title themselves. And the last couple of GALA players that were on the pitch, David O'Hagan, I can see just leaving the field now, and the referee making his way on, so we should have Edinburgh Accies and GALA on, ready, stripped for action in a couple of minutes' time. Of course, a reminder, GALA defeating Peebles by 31 points to 0, and then 19-14 winners over Watsonians, that securing their place through the pool stages. They were in Pool 3, and of course a semi-final victory over Kelso by 36 points to 19, but that game was in the balance for a lengthy spell. And of course Edinburgh Accies, they came through a pool system, defeating Duns by 61 points to 7, having earlier disposed of Selkirk 22 points to 14, so they were winners of Pool 2, and then they went on to beat Hawick 24-19 in the semi-final. So that's how Accies and GALA, Accies in the top half of the draw, and GALA the lower half. And I can see the GALA players in a huddle just now, just preparing to join the Edinburgh Accies players who are now on the pitch. And Bruce, it's a fascinating final in prospect.
Fascinating, lots of talking points. Edinburgh Accies in the top half of the draw was the easier half of the draw, so they were a more comfortable route to the final. They were a longer break, so does that play into their hands? Comparing the performances of the two sides this afternoon, you've got to say that GALA have looked better. So who knows? As usual, we're not going to know until we get the game underway, which is going to happen very shortly. GALA effectively down to 9 men. James Parker is on the bench, but we saw in the last game he felt his hamstring with his try-scoring run. I think they will try not to play James Parker, and of course he's been a weapon for them this afternoon. But I think GALA will have too much pace. But we will find out very shortly. Edinburgh Accies to get us underway.
Referee in position then, both sets of players out on the pitch. Accies will play from right to left in these white jerseys with the blue hoops and the dark blue shorts and blue socks. GALA in their maroon jerseys, white shorts, maroon socks, and already GALA playing from left to right on the charge. Alan Niemand goes into touch, does he? He's able to play the pass first of all, and that's taken down by Fraser Hunter. GALA up close towards Edinburgh Accies 22. The pass comes back to Emond, on to O'Hagan. O'Hagan with the pass just inside. GALA looking to get Robertson involved down this left-hand channel. And inside the opening 30 seconds of the final, GALA scored the first try, and that was well worked through the backs along the 22, and Robertson getting the opening score of the final down that left-hand side. And when he received the ball close to the 22, you felt, Bruce, there was only going to be one outcome there.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, GALA using the whole width of the pitch from the restart. Alan Emond racing up this stand-side touchline, didn't quite have the pace to go the length. He would tell you himself that was his worst nightmare in the first 30 seconds of a match that lasts 20 minutes. He has to run that far. But the ball was recycled, sent across to the far side. And Rory Howarth, I mean, it's simple, but it's an underrated skill. The Scotland under-20 fullback, he gave a perfect pass right in front of Robertson, so he could take it at full stride, didn't have to ease off to take it, and he went in for what looked like a fairly easy score, but it was well worked by GALA. Conversion I don't think went over, but GALA will be more than happy to have got off to a start like that.
Yeah, so Hagan then just passing on some instructions with the ball to just the side of the mouth there, explaining what he's proposing to do then from this restart kick. It's a high one beyond the 10 and fairly central. Edinburgh Accies are able to scoop it back, and a chance now for Neil Armstrong. He feeds the ball in towards the stand side here. Luke Taylor takes it on. Taylor's a bit of a buzz bomb himself, passes back to Armstrong, and Edinburgh Accies now taken on through Jamie Winks. They've got it up to just beyond their own 22. Bit of GALA again scramble, take on the loose ball, taken on nicely there by Fraser Hunter, so they're attacking back down this Edinburgh Accies left-hand channel, feeding the ball through the hands, through Howarth, once again to O'Hagan. O'Hagan, just the suggested pop pass, delays it slightly. Howarth in a good position here, but so too is Robertson, popping up in the right wing this time, and again just patient play through the hands. Wilkinson, I think it was, who played the final pass out to Robertson. So within 2.5 minutes of this final, he's popped up in the left wing from about 22 metres out to score the first try, and then he appears on the right wing moments later from a similar distance, running in underneath the posts, almost, not quite, but a second try for GALA. 10-0. They're in command early on.
That's what you want of Craig Robertson. He just to stay on the wing there, and the other players make the space for him and then just put him away. He had a wonderful tournament, his own tournament at GALA. Maybe not so good at Melrose when he was going sort of looking infield, looking for spaces. Just stay on the wing and the other guys do the work. Scott Wilkinson did some great work there. He was coming across, and not sure which one of the GALA players actually just cut an angle in towards the post, did enough to attract the attention of the Edinburgh Accies defenders, and then that created space for Robertson out wide. And once it was in his hands with that much space, he had 15 yards to play with. He was always going to finish it off, and a great start to this game for GALA.
The big tent across on the far side. There's plenty of people outside that tent shielding their eyes as O'Hagan plays the ball into the late afternoon, early evening. Blue sky and sunshine here. Dodds with a pass. GALA in control once more. Goes through the hands again of Howarth. Howarth with a great breakaway run. Howarth's going to be in for a third try. Oh, this is magic stuff here from GALA. We've played under 4 minutes, and that's a third try there. Finished off this time from Howarth. Again, the suggestion he might play the pass infield, but runs into that right hand corner. And after 2 Robertson scores, it's Howarth who was instrumental in both the earlier tries, scoring GALA's third there. So all the action is GALA playing from left to right in this first half, heading to our right as we watch from our position in the main stand, close on halfway. And this O'Hagan, a tricky conversion attempt here from the right wing, and he's made a decent connection, but again it's just it's got the distance but not quite the direction, and it remains 15-0 to GALA, and this time it's Howarth that finishes things off.
Great finish there by Howarth. He's got an awful lot of pace. He just again arced outside his man and turned on the gas, scurried up the 5 metre channel, but it came from the restart. Watch David O'Hagan, this is his third one, and I mean they're landing just on the 10. It's given his chasers a great chance. It was Wilkinson on the last occasion, got under it and tapped it back, and let's see if GALA can again win the ball from the restart. That one, having said that, I'm not sure it's gone 10.
It's just practically 10, the referee allowing it to be played. I think it would maybe have been a fraction shy if it had bounced. Accies then through the hands, first opportunity to see what they can perhaps offer to the party. Taken on by Marples, their captain, goes into contact just beyond halfway, feeds it to Neil Armstrong, comes back on the GALA side though. Good steal there. Dodds takes it on a run just now, feeds the ball to Alan Eamond. They're trying to get it back across on the stand side. Robertson picks the ball up as it bounced, straightens up. He's got O'Hagan just to his right, but lets to go to Howarth. Alan Eamond takes the ball on again, good upper body strength from Eamond, shrugging off the attentions of the Edinburgh Accies players, playing the ball to O'Hagan. O'Hagan from a standing position just inside the Accies half off the field, just in front of us here, and GALA go for a run once more. O'Hagan just backtracking slightly, just taking his time. Little pop pass there to Alan Eamond. Eamond again, good strong running onto O'Hagan. O'Hagan to Robertson. Robertson having to run laterally across that 10 metre line. The referee penalising Accies there, I think, but allowing GALA to continue play. And Howarth, little crossfield kick from Howarth. Craig Dodds is the chasing GALA player, but so too back there is Mike Feddo, and he's able to, he's tackled well, by credit there to Craig Dodds, because Feddo was certainly had a good 2 or 3 metres on Craig Dodds and was the furthest, deepest Edinburgh Accies player back inside his 22 there, but Dodds forcing the tackle, and Edinburgh Accies have got no room, no space to work at all.
Absolutely not. And how comfortable do GALA look with ball in hand? They're just throwing it about, they're moving about, there's always a player to offer it to. When there's not, Alan Eamon's just taking it in and standing strong and then offloading it, and it's just lovely play. And then every now and again there's just an injection of pace. It's usually come from Howard so far, just puts a little bit of panic into the Accies defence, and if there's space they go, if there's not they just retain possession. Here they go from the scrum to O'Hagan.
O'Hagan then tries to go down the left hand channel, plays the ball back into Howarth. Robertson just beats his man and no more, but Luke Taylor trying to put a good tackle, and Taylor's still got his arms round about him. The ball played on to Hunter. But that move just coming to nothing on this occasion for Gala. Remember, they're leading by 15 points to nil. You're listening to live coverage of the BERWICK Sevens final here at Scremerston in the sunshine. It's been a chilly afternoon unless you've been out in the sun. But as I say, there's a main sort of beer tent across directly opposite where we are. And the Gala coaching staff, CEO Peter Palapoy, quite a satisfied figure with arms folded there.
You should probably separate those two sentences when you said there's a beer tent over there and you mention of the Gala coaching staff. They're not in it, they're in the dugout.
He's well away from the entrance anyway. It so happens that the respective technical areas are positioned very close to the tent, but I'm not insinuating anything at all. Further down, incidentally, there's other tents and gazebos, spectators enjoying this, and those with a Gala interest particularly so. But here Edinburgh Accies go from the edge of the 22 up and beyond halfway. Jamie Winks, good running here from Winks, but he needs some support. Robin Snape is in support. Snape and Mike Feddo as well. The ball is fished out there, and a chance now for Callum Ram. Ram with the crossfield pass taken on by the skipper Marples. Marples now down on our left hand side. Good defensive work here from Gala, but Neil Armstrong takes the ball on, tries to run it down this right hand side, across on the far side as we watch. Accies playing from right to left in this first half, and it's the first time these pale blue and white jerseys have been deep in Gala territory in a first half that's now only got about a minute and 30 seconds or so left to play, and Gala have been the dominant side in this first half. Gala leading by 15 points to nil. But if Edinburgh Accies were to produce something here, as they have the tap and go inside the Gala 22, again through the hands, taken on by Neil Armstrong, goes into contact, needs a bit of support here, should come back on Accies' side and does, and it's taken on by the skipper Marples, trying to play a captain's role now. Marples has a bit of support from Robin Snape, comes back once more to Armstrong. He's a fraction shy of the line as he's been awarded the score. The referee certainly blows for the score there. Marples, it was a full stretch dive to the line there, and you felt that Edinburgh Accies needed the next score in the game, which has been awarded, just to settle themselves down, get themselves back in the match. It was right in front of the sticks. It's been converted 15-7. The referee having a glance at the watch, I'd say there's 30 seconds, maybe a fraction more of the first half left to go. So Gala will be disappointed to concede shortly before half time, having been dominant.
They'll be disappointed with that, but I mean a great defensive effort, because it looked for all money they were going to score down this wing, but Fraser Hunter got back and made a good tackle, and there's some good work. David O'Hagan put in a very solid hit as well, but eventually I think Feddo, who's offloaded well today and created quite a lot of opportunities, he got wrapped up by Craig Dodds, but eventually they got themselves over the line. I should say that I could see Dodds speaking to the referee. He felt that Wilkinson had his hands on the ball at the breakdown and should have been awarded a penalty, but not given. It's Accies again in possession, and it's this speed merchant Luke Taylor down that right hand side, but goes into contact. Accies trying to finish this first half with perhaps another score. 15 points to 7 then for Gala, with those 3 quick fire tries, 2 of them coming from Robertson and the respective wings, and then Howarth scoring the third. But here go Edinburgh Accies once more again. Good strong running there from Feddo, feeding Winks, and there's Winks going to be in for another score. He does enough to get that score, this time about 5 metres in from touch when he touched the ball down to our left hand side. But all credit there to Jamie Winks, who scores right on the stroke of half time, makes the conversion attempt a little bit tricky, but 15 points to 12, and those early missed conversions, albeit from pretty acute angles, have certainly come into play maybe somewhat, with it being a 15-12 game at half time. And for 7.5, 8 of those 10 first half minutes, Gala seemed the dominant side in control. Not really been asked too many questions at all by Edinburgh Accies, but the Edinburgh side coming back very strongly with 2 clinical attacks in the last 2 minutes. That's right. I mean, you always get these swings in Sevens rugby, especially in a final where you're playing 10 minutes each way, and although Edinburgh Accies would feel a little bit under the cosh conceding 3 tries, no conversions, it could have been 21, but it was 15, and they would always feel that they were going to get a period where they were in possession. They've played some good rugby this afternoon, and they would feel confident that when they got their opportunity they'd be able to get themselves across the whitewash, and they've done that twice. To the many onlookers over there on the other side, they would we'd have felt the game was probably over. It was Gala's trophy they retained, because they of course won the trophy last year, but we know better than to discount teams in finals, and Edinburgh Accies, the momentum with them a little bit now as well. And I'm not sure, I'm just looking through that side. Scott Wilkinson, I'm trying to think who else. Graham Spears will come on in this second half. Played Craig Robertson, in fact, as well. Played at North Berwick Sevens yesterday. Gala won up there, I think, beat Peebles in the final. So three of their players have played a full day yesterday, and now a full day today. So we'll see if that takes its toll on them. But it's Gala with their noses in front, but just.
Yep, Alan Eamond comes back onto the field of play, and it will be Gala through David O'Hagan that will get us underway here, playing down to our left hand side in the second half. So 10 to go, and Gala have the lead, a 3-point advantage, 15-12. Again, a real high hanging kick there as Eamon goes up to try and win back O'Hagan's restart kick. It's taken on now by Dodds, who received the pass from O'Hagan. Dodds feeding the ball just inside. And again, Gala looking to just try and build from close towards halfway. Again, Eamond taking the ball on, suggestive of a pass there, but continuing the run. Howarth just pops the ball towards O'Hagan. O'Hagan breaks through. O'Hagan's away. He's over the 22, looks for his options, and it's going to be Alan Eamond. I think is going to be strong enough just to reach for the try line. Oh, he popped the ball back towards Dodds there. He felt he couldn't obviously finish that himself. He was practically on the try line, it seemed, from where we're standing. Gala still got some momentum on the edge of that 22. They take it on once more. I think that's Wilkinson there, but taken on now by Robertson. The pass out towards Howarth, comes back to O'Hagan down this right hand channel, tries a little goose step, works his way around his man, and he's in for a score. He's going to try and get close to underneath the post to get these extra 2 points on this occasion, and that's the start Gala were looking for. 1 minute and 5 seconds of the second half gone, and Gala scoring their 4th try of the final, this time David O'Hagan.
It was great defensive work initially by Edinburgh Accies, because you felt sure that Gala were going to score. Alan Eamon dragged down just short of the line. He had the strength to stay on his feet. He just couldn't quite reach far enough, and then Edinburgh Accies stole it. And somehow I think it was Fraser Hunter stole the ball back and found its way the ball out to David O'Hagan on the wing. And he's a confidence player, and he's looked confident this afternoon. We talked about him a lot in the first tie against Peebles. Again, he was 1-1 with his opposite number there. He thought to himself, I'm going to have a go, and he went round, got himself in behind the posts, and Gala now, I mean, it's a long way to go, but 8 points lead looks a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, we've still got just over 8 minutes left to play, but a 20 points to 12 advantage, so 4 tries, no conversions, but they've had the bit between their teeth for much of this final, and they show that they have match winners, very much part of the group of 10 players on the field this afternoon. Of course, winners of their own tournament, and as Bruce was saying, winners back here 12 months ago.
Now the referee, that's a talking about. The referee said that hasn't gone 10. I think it was a great restart, landed on the 10. The referee said it didn't, and it looked like it went 10.5 to me. He's come back, and it's a free kick to Edinburgh Accies from halfway. So
they take the quick tap and go and look at their options, perhaps going down this stand side. The breakaway runner is Jack Marples, the captain. He gets close towards the 22, just beyond that 10-metre line. The ball bobbles back, takes on Jamie Winks, one of the try scorers. Winks feeds the ball out there now to Alex Godsmart down this left-hand channel. The right-hand channel for Gala. Now, has Godsmart done enough to get the try? He certainly reached out a left arm there. Gala take the quick tap and go once more, because Godsmart, I think, was just a fraction shy of the line.
Or too many movements. Was he penalised? I'm not entirely sure. I think he was probably penalised there for...
he did look as if he was just over.
Yeah, I think maybe just a double or triple movement.
Anyway, Alan Eamon now for Gala, trying to build something from inside there. 22. Again, Wilkinson pops into Dodds to Eamond. Good quick handling there from Gala. Now they're down this left hand side, and again that was a good pass in from Fraser Hunter, and the breakaway runner this time is Gregor Hunter, and Hunter's going to be in for another try for Gala. That's 2 in the second half, 5 in all, extending their lead. Edinburgh Accies may feel a little aggrieved that they weren't awarded a try further back, but no real appeals from the players when the referee had called play back, penalising Accies, and really from that breakaway Gala patient inside their 22, and Gregor Hunter finishing off another fine move.
Yeah, I mean, Edinburgh Accies, yeah, you could argue, unfortunately, I think it would have been a travesty if they'd scored, because I'm absolutely convinced that restart went more than 10, and the referee said it didn't, and it was a free kick to Edinburgh Accies. Some good play by Accies, got themselves up to the line, good strength by Godsmark, and I think he was dragged down just short, but just too tempting for him not to reach out that left arm, and the referee, I'm fairly certain that was the decision, that it was a double movement, and Gala were quick to go through Robertson, and then it was a great bit of play down this side, and the fresh legs on, in the shape of Gregor Hunter. I think he's on for Rory Howarth in this second half. I see Alan Eamon, who's a good final, has been taken off as well, so 1 or 2 changes for Gala now.
O'Hagan, the high kick. Now, no question, that is beyond, it's allowed to bounce, and it's certainly beyond that 10, but comes back on the Accies side, and Accies ship it through the hands once more. We get the likes of Ram and Marples and Scholar involved, and here's the breakaway run now coming from Luke Taylor, who again we've seen in fits and starts because he's been a pacey player all tournament. He touches down for a score. Luke Taylor was just on the shoulder there. The pop pass out to Taylor, he accelerated very quickly, but no, the referee again has spotted an infringement further back. So Luke Taylor's effort, I think it's going to be, has it been held up in fact?
I think that has been held up. I mean, that is a great defensive effort by David O'Hagan. He's brought a lot to the final so far. He's scored down there. His restarts have been outstanding, and he went, but he never gave up there. Now, Luke Martin should have just touched down because he was in. He turned, I think it was O'Hagan, in fact, he turned inside out over on the far side. He should have scored, tried to be too clever and cut inside, and O'Hagan's tipped him upside down, and it's now a 5 metre scrum for Edinburgh Accies when it should have been a score.
Yep, Edinburgh Accies though, still got Taylor on this right hand side now. A combination of Robertson trying to bring him down. Now, did Accies ground the ball on this occasion for the try, because they're over the line again?
That was knocked on for me.
And the referee awarding the score. Yep, there was again, I think, a couple of questions coming from the Gala players from Eamon that maybe a knock on earlier on, but Accies this time awarded the score. So makes it a bit more interesting now, especially if this is converted. Oh, that's well wide of the posts. So Edinburgh Accies, what's that, 25 points to 17. Gala have the lead with 4 minutes or so left to play. So Accies still within touching distance, but again, maybe 1 or 2 questions over the legitimacy of that try.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You need to see it in a replay, so I'm not going to be critical of the officials. We'll just say that they were closer than me. However, it's 8 points the advantage if Luke Martin had just touched down when he could have tried to be too clever and get. As Luke Taylor, sorry, to get under the post, he should have just touched down, and I'm fairly certain they would have had that conversion and would have been within 6 points. So they've just made their own life a little bit harder. But 3 minutes to go, they can still win it, but it's Gala in possession.
Craig Dodds then again. Gala through the hands, they go up towards the Edinburgh Accies 10. Dodds again just trying to scramble the ball back, as it was Gregor Hunter that went into contact. Accies have been penalised. Gala a chance just from beyond the 10 to work something inside the Accies half off the field. Dodds then with the tap through the hands of Hunter, on through Fraser Hunter to David O'Hagan out on that right hand channel. Still no sign off the speed merchant, Mr. Parker. I think he may well be sitting out the final, as Bruce was saying. A combination of injuries maybe, or the suspicion of 1 or 2 niggling muscles will ensure that he'll sit this one out.
When you've got that many muscles, there's much more chance of niggling them than you or I.
Indeed, absolutely. But he's played his part in Gala getting to the final nevertheless, and Wilkinson taking the ball on a run down this right hand channel once again on to Fraser Hunter. Accies playing a high defensive line. They've stolen it close towards halfway. They're looking to try and recycle the ball. Again, about 2 minutes of this final left to play. Accies building from their own 10. Look for the breakaway run there of Marples, the skipper, but Gala steal it back once more. Good work there by, I think that was Craig Robertson on to Dodds. Dodds with the right-footed chip kick ahead. He chases his chip kick. Oh, the bounce just bounces sort of behind him, and more favours Callum Ram, who was the closest Edinburgh Accies players to Gala on the charge there. Comes back once more. Fraser Hunter trying to do his bit. Not the best of handling there from Gala. And Accies looking just to run from the 10, but the referee again spotted the knock on. And Gala, well, they'll be happy with this situation now, Bruce. You look at the scoreboard, 25 points to 17, and we've got just over a minute left to play. Gala have got this set piece in Edinburgh Accies territory, close to the Accies 10, and every chance that if they can get this set piece working properly, they could be in for a score before the referee blows for full time.
I think if they get another score, that'll absolutely finish the game. Here's O'Hagan away down that far touchline. I think he's got the gas. He's going to be in.
He certainly is going to be in. There is that score we possibly predicted there. He raises the right arm to the sky, and he knows that has sealed the silverware for GALA. They will retain the BERWICK Sevens title, and that was good work there from GALA, from O'Hagan, from that scrummage down that right hand channel. And Edinburgh Accies know they're a beaten side now, hands and hips, but credit to them, they've made a real contribution to the competition this afternoon. And GALA just waiting for this conversion attempt from out wide. That will be, I'd imagine, the duty of O'Hagan after he has a sip of water. And as we approach injury time now in this final, there'll be maybe a minute at most left to play. But 30 points to 17 with the conversion to come. Left-footed effort comes in, hits the base of the post. The referee's seen enough, so 30-17 to GALA is the final score, and GALA have done enough to win the final, and that's another 10 points in the Kings of the Sevens, another piece of silverware. They've started well.
They've started very well, yes, won their own and did well at Melrose. Unfortunately for them, came up against the eventual winners, Glasgow Warriors, but back to winning ways today. Holders of the BERWICK trophy, so retain that one. You got to be fair to say they did look the best side of the day. Their skill levels are good. I think they've probably got more pace than just about anybody else, because it's so many players who can go the length, and you've got a guy like James Parker don't even need to bring off the bench in the final there. David O'Hagan just going up to congratulate the officials there. I thought he had an outstanding final, both with his running, with his passing, with his defensive play, which he's not known for, and his restarts, which meant that GALA had far more possession than you would normally expect, because they just kept winning back their own restarts. So you can see the GALA players very happy. They've really targeted the Kings of the Sevens, as I said earlier, having had such a disappointing 15 season, and they've got themselves off to the best possible start. 2 wins from 3 competitions. 2 wins, yep. A pretty impressive record by anyone's standards after 3 rounds of the Kings of the Sevens. Of course, they continue next weekend down at Langham and then move on to Peebles, and by that stage we're midway through the 10 competitions. But GALA will receive the silverware very soon. They applaud Edinburgh Accies off the field of play. A reminder of how they got to the final: a victory over Peebles by 31 points to 0, and then 19-14 winners over Watsonians. So GALA in the end winning Pool 3, meeting Kelso in the semi-finals, defeating them by 36 points to 19, and then defeating ACCIES in the final by 30 points to 17. So a good afternoon's work for GALA, that's for sure, and a real sort of squad effort. The 10 players very much involved all the way through to the finish. I'm sure they're protecting Parker for future tournaments as well. But GALA laying down a bit of a marker for the bigger picture. The whole Kings of the Sevens tournament will no doubt get reaction sometime later on. We'll hear from the GALA camp, and I'm sure they'll be very happy to be taking some silverware back up to Neradale. But that's it from our coverage here as the spectators begin to make their way to the exits, with GALA retaining the BERWICK Sevens trophy here in the sunshine at Scremerston. It finished in the final, Edinburgh Accies beaten at GALA 30, Edinburgh Accies 17.